Hello, everybody. My name is Cristian Morena. I'm a system engineering student at Universidad Nacional Abierta y a Distancia. And this video is my submission for Task 5 in the final phase of the Information Security course. Besides my studies, I work independently in security surveillance system and program, install and manage IP camera and networking projects for my clients. So information security isn't just a theoretical subject for me. It is something I deal with the real project, which is why this topic is especially relevant to my work. Step 2. Let's start with the definition. Information security is the discipline of protecting the confidentiality, integrity, and inability of information that we use are called the CIA triad. Confidentiality means that only authorized people can access certain data. Integrity means that information stays accurate and isn't modified without authorization. And availability means that systems and data are accessible whenever they're needed. Together, these three principles are the foundation of everything else we're going to talk about. Now, why is this so important today? First, cyber attack and data breach keep growing every year, both in numbers and in sophistication. Second, applications today run on the cloud, on mobile device, and are accessed remotely, which make the attack surface much bigger than it used to be. There's also a legal side to this. In Colombia, Law 1581 for 2012, now as the husband data law requires organization to protect personal data, and similar rules outside international like the GDPR in Europe. And finally, I think security breach can use direct financial loss, regulatory fires, and reputation damage that can last for years. Today, most attacks target software application directly, which is exactly what information security has become a core part of the software development, not an afterthought. Step 3. Advantage of implementing security development. First, now let's talk about the advantages of implementing security development practice from the start of a project. The first and most important advantage that is cost. It is much cheap to find to fit a vulnerability during the design or coding start that to fit after the software is really in production, or even worse, after it has really been exploited in an attack. Secure development also means fewer vulnerabilities reach production in the first place because practice lacks input validation. The principle of left privilege and proper error headline reduce the attack surface before the software is even released. They are sole business advantage. Customer trust the production that protect their data, which become a real competitive differentiator. It's supporting regulatory compliance, helping organizations about fine and legal exposure. It improves business continuity because fewer security incidents mean fewer update and more predictable operation, and it projects the organization's reputation seeing the dangers damage from a public breach of them outlast the technical fit itself. From my own experience working with IP cameras and network projects, I've seen fears that how the poorly configured device. Something as simple as default password lets unchanged can come in exactly the key of the enable problem that security practices are meant to prevent. Step 4. Current standard for information security and their benefits. There are several standards that organizations rely on today to manage information security in a structured way instead of improvisation. First, ISO IAC definition of information security managed system, or S the ISMS, and getting certified in this standard in internationality records it and builds trust with clients and partners. The NIST cybersecurity frameworks version 2.0 offers a flexible risk-based approach organized around six function: govern, identify, project, detect, responder, and recover. Its widest uses at maturity benchmark across many industries. ISO AAC number 3 provides specific for cybersecurity, helping coordinate between different stakeholders like code users, service providers, and regulators. For development teams, specifically OW, ASP, and AS UVS, ASAMM in concrete, disable requirement for the secure coding, and for any organization that processes card payment, PCADSS in mandatory and directly reduce fraud and breach liability. The common benefit across all of this standard is that they replace Westward with a structured, proven way to manage reach, and in many cases, certification itself becomes a trust signal for clients and business partners. And step 5. Now, for the most technical part of this presentation, the 5 most critical vulnerabilities according to OWASP. It's important to mention that OWASP to update to 10 lists in 2025. The first update in 2021 and based on analysis of more than 175,000 real vulnerabilities records. And present in this newer 2025-26, pardon, list rather than the older 2021 version. Number one is broken access control. This happens when an application doesn't properly enforce restriction on what a user is allowed to do. For example, I use Cloud Chain and ID in the URL, like changing profile 1677 to file it 1678 and the end of viewing someone else's account. They always reduce the risk is to enforce authorization check on everywhere rest on the service side, defaulting to denies access unless explicit allowed. Number two is security misconfiguration, which actually jumped up from fifth place in 2021. This included things like default credential that were never changed, unnecessary service lets enable or cloud store booklet lets publicly open. The fix here is to harden deployment pipelines, remove default according and automate configuration review specifically in cloud and container environment. And number three is software supply chain default, which is a brand new category in the 2025 library of dependency, introduced malicious code into application that was otherwise boot securely. To reduce this risk, teams should maintain and software bill of materials or SPOM, scan continuously and verify packet signature before using them. Number four is cryptographic failures, which actually dropped down from second place in 2021. This category covers weak, missing, or misdirection encryption that expose sensitive information like password or financial data. The solution is to use a strong, up-to-date algorithm like TLS 1.3. Never store password in plain text and manage its encryption key properly. And number five is projection, which dropped from third place. This happened when untrusted input in executed as at command. SQRL injection, OS command injection, or code injection are common example, allowing an attack to manipulate to backed of an application. The main way to prevent this parametric requires or prepared statement validate, and sanitize every input, and apply the principle of less privilege to database coding. Thank you very so much for watching. Bye bye. Sayonara. Arrivederci. Nos vemos, mi socio. Bye.